All right, I just finished the lift, guys. Before I get into the video, I'm just gonna show you my new garage space here. So that door leads to the backyard. Obviously, there's the rack. What's really cool is that it's like a long strip of a garage. So it's actually a little bit smaller than my old garage, but I have this workbench here, or like a countertop here. So I put all of my dumbbells, my plyo boxes, my bells of steel crash pads right there, my other squat rack on this wall. I got some cabinets right here. So it's just like a longer strip. So the good thing about this here is that, one sec. Maybe here's a better way for me to stand behind the camera. So what's cool about this is this long strip of concrete or mats right here. It's just like better space. Like I don't have to step around shit to get places. It's really good for training people because I just stand right here or right here while they're on the rack. I got the treadmill right here. I've always had that white countertop thing here, but yeah, this is the garage now. More like hang up things. So bands on this hook right here, TRX vests. I got some more hooks right here, belt, the alpha roller, attachments for chains. So yeah, this is the new garage, guys. Really excited to start training people in here. It's gonna be a good setup. Got my barbell holder right there, treadmill. Yeah. All right, still working through this first week of deficit, cutting some weight, and a little bit of a deload training wise. So I got my first set right now of cleans. It's gonna be touch and go cleans, just doing sets of 3. I got 265 on the bar. Again, I'm not gonna work up to anything too heavy today. Energy's low, hunger is high. I'm really feeling it. So man, I just gotta get my body healthy. So for the next like few weeks of training, I'm not gonna use any sort of like ergogenic aid, I guess. It's like I'm not gonna use my weightlifting shoes. I'm not gonna use a belt. I will use straps if I'm pulling heavy. I'm not gonna hook grip, so I'm not gonna hook grip any of these reps. These are just touch and go. I was supposed to do touch and go snatches today, but still trying to get the shoulder healthy, so I'm not super comfortable going overhead with my shoulder yet, so just substituting these touch and go cleans for the touch and go snatches. But yeah, sets of 3, I'll probably do ascending sets. Maybe I'll work up to 315 for my final set. But then after that, I got some Hatfield Bulgarian split squats. I was supposed to bench, not gonna bench. I'm just gonna do dips again because that keeps my shoulder at a more comfortable position, more tolerable position, and then finishing off with some razor curls today. So that's the plan. Let's get this first set. One thing different about this garage that I really like is how I'm gonna keep this kind of runway of concrete open with concrete, because in my old house, the whole thing was covered in mats like this. And I hated Olympic lifting on the mats because of the friction, your feet just get stuck. It's really hard to like have fast, aggressive feet when you're trying to receive the bar. So I'm gonna keep this area in concrete so I can shift my feet a lot cleaner. I used to complain about it at my old house all the time. So I'll keep the mats over here, deadlift, squat, do most of the lifting over here, leave this open for Olympic lifting, maybe even leave this open so I can do more plyos here with this little runway here. So. That set felt pretty good. I'll go to 285 next. Can you do a video comparing the skills and OVR speed gates? Make sure I'm in the frame here. I'm not gonna make a video on comparing the differences, but the OVR gates are a lot better. You can record, you can like set your camera up and do a camera formatting with them. You can track progress over time. I think they're more precise, they're more accurate, they don't glitch out. They're just as easy to set up. The OVR gates are a lot better. What stretches would you recommend for lower body? And what volume would you prescribe? It's going to depend on what the purpose of the stretch is, what the outcome you're looking for is. If you're looking, here I'll just say some of the ones that I really like. 90-90 hip flip. But the thing is, like with the volume, I'll talk about volume first. with the volume regarding stretching, the volume has to be high, the intensity has to be high, the magnitude has to be high. It can't just be a like lazy, get into a semi-uncomfortable position, hold it for 30 seconds to a minute, and just do that a couple of times a week, or just do it a couple of, like between a couple of sets here and there while you're lifting, or just like pre-training, post-training. It has to be like, just like any other sort of training, there has to be real intention put into it. So you have to spend a lot of time in the stretches in order to actually see some sort of adaptation, to see a positive adaptation. So you said ask for lower body ones, pigeon pose. I mean, you guys know what a pigeon pose is, but really like this one. 90-90 hip flip, which 90-90 hip flip, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with. Try to do this with your hands off the ground if you can, like this. I can't do it, but oh, this is one I really should spend time. So get into the position, really dig into that hip, rotate at the hip, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, flip, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Spent a lot of time on this one. I really like, and I just like the splits, dude. Probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I spent a lot of time and effort getting into the splits like this, and it got me really flexible. It made my Olympic lifting a lot better. Last two ones would just be like a deep squat. Take your elbows, take your hands like you're praying. Try to keep your heels on the ground. Shove those knees out. Maintain some sort of thoracic extension right here, I like. But yeah, spend a lot of time in these positions. Oh, last one. Plantar flexion. Sit on your heels in plantar flexion. Okay. Good for the quads, good for the ankles. Deep squat, 90-90 hip flip, pigeon pose, and splits. Those would be like my top 5 if you're asking for my favorite ones. Okay, moving on to Hatfield Bulgarian split squats. All right, Bulgarian split squats. I don't know the last time I've done Hatfield Bulgarian split squats. It's been years upon years, but I got sets of 8. So I put 225, well, 245, it's a 65-pound bar. So yeah, start here. Hopefully, my goal is to shoot for RPEs between 6 and 7. So like using a weight that upon completing the set, I feel like I could have done 20, 25 pounds heavier and still accomplish the same number of reps at about a similar effort level. So for those of you who don't understand like my view on RPE, that's kind of the way I conceptualize it. I don't think about it in terms of RIR, reps in reserve. RPE, so like a 9 RPE would be, you complete a set, you think to yourself, I could have added 5, maybe 10 pounds to that set, completed the same number of reps at the same effort level. So I'm going for RPE 6 to 7. The way I think about that is, I could have completed the set with the same number of reps with about 15, 20, 25 pounds heavier. Do you think it's more important for someone who isn't really that strong yet to focus on getting stronger on the core lifts, or focus on the Olympic lifts and sprints and plyos if the goal is just to be overall athlete, to be an overall athlete? Do it all, but if you're gonna make me choose, if someone's not strong yet, that's the lowest hanging fruit you can grab, is just getting a little bit stronger, assuming you're already doing sprinting. So yeah, I would say focus on getting stronger, keep sprinting. So if you're asking if I had to choose between Olympic lifts and strength, if they're not strong, I'd probably just get them stronger. But if you're not strong, Olympic lifts are gonna get you strong too. It's not really until you've already developed a certain level of strength or the Olympic lifts are no longer going to improve your ability to produce maximal peak force. How do you feel about explosive snatch grip high pulls? Seems like a similar level of explosiveness, but without getting under the bar as a comparative to Olympic lifts. I think high pulls are fine, but I've said plenty of times in the past, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, is that if you don't know how to do the full Olympic lifts, pulls just aren't going to get the job done. If you're already good at the Olympic lifts and you understand the coordination, you understand the timing, you understand the position you should be before you cross the knee, after the bar crosses the knee, where the contact point should be, where the brush point should be, how you should coordinate your shoulders getting behind the bar, and at what point your torso should become more vertical. If you already know how to coordinate the full Olympic lifts, pulls are great, but if you just like skip over learning the full Olympic lifts and you just want to do pulls, they're not as good. If your macronutrient requirement is fulfilled and you're not concerned about limiting performance, do you take meal timing into consideration? Would you ever be happy to bank all the calories in one or two meals if schedule dictated? I suppose I'd have to if my schedule dictated, but no. I like having the calories, the macronutrients relatively evenly distributed throughout the course of a day. So no, I would not want to I have done intermittent fasting before where I only eat from noon to 6 p.m. or noon to 8 p.m. I have done that in the past. Like right now, I'm eating 5 to 6 times a week and I'm still in a deficit, but especially if you're in a deficit, I like having the more frequent meals because you get hungrier more often. So like if you just have like a steady stream of nutrients, I think it's easier to cut that way. How do you train sprints and various runs in the winter? Isn't there a lot of snow and bitter cold where you live? I live in Utah, so winters are rough here sometimes. Yeah, I live in North Dakota. I'm in Grand Forks, North Dakota. We're like 50 miles south of the Canadian border. So it's October right now. It's starting to get cold. It's like low 40s right now. Some days it's getting up to like mid 60s. That's like on a hot day. But we're gonna get snow in the next few weeks. We usually get one snowfall before Halloween. Then it melts, and then we get another snowfall before Thanksgiving. Sometimes that melts, and then we get like our true snowfall December, January, February, and then the snow doesn't go away until late March, early April. So what I do for sprints is there's a Sanford Power, which is like a private sports performance facility in town here. So that's where I go 1 to 2 times per week in the winter, which I need to make sure I do because I didn't do as much of it last winter when I was running Haas 2.0. I kind of didn't take advantage of it, and I think that's honestly why I pulled my hamstring quite a bit this summer because I didn't take the appropriate time to get back into sprinting high intensity, higher distances or longer distances, and it just wasn't very good for me. Nice. I see you and Austin Yoakum do a lot of block cleans from the low block position. Is there a particular preference for doing these as opposed to higher blocks from the floor? Or what's the reason for that particular variant? The reason I use like the Bells of Steel ones is just to protect my floor, but no, it's just like you use blocks because then your time to peak velocity has to be a little bit higher. You're gonna train like rate of force development a little bit. You can use blocks for different like technical improvements. But no, there's not like, for me and my purpose for using them, mostly it's just for variation. And then I use my Bells of Steel crash pads just so I protect my floor. Stabilize. Didn't really lock that last one out. Rack started shaking on me a little bit. That was tough. Okay, last thing of the day, moving on to is razor curls. Haven't done those in a long time either, but figured it'd be a good change up from doing so many Nordic hamstring curls. And I don't have the glute ham raise, so that can't be that's not a possible variation for my hamstrings for knee flexion hamstring work anyways. So with some razor curls, which again is another exercise I haven't done in a really long time. It's a lot easier to do this on a glute ham raise, but basically it's you're in the same position you would be in to start a Nordic hamstring curl, but you hinge first, you hinge, and then you extend out. So it's not as like a popular exercise, but I really like it. Go till your head hits the ground, and then extend the knees. Oh. Ooh. Really good exercise I like giving people. I mean, there's a lot of applications for it. It's just a Nordic hinge. Someone who's not very strong can't do a real Nordic hamstring curl. You don't have access to a glute ham raise, and you don't really have a good way of assisting someone. Maybe you don't have bands to use to assist someone with a Nordic hamstring curl, or a cable attachment for them to use assistance with. It's just Nordic hinges. I think it's actually a really good exercise for people who are coming back from some sort of hamstring injury. Basically, just hands on your hips. Ooh, cramping. Ah, cramp. Back to what I was saying about the Nordic hinges. I don't know if anyone, I'm sure some of you guys can just conceptualize without seeing it, but you're in the position that you would start a Nordic hamstring curl. Hands on your hips, and you just hinge. Touch the top of your head to the floor. Back up. Needless to say, just grab it a 10-pound. You can load it, and it's something that's really easy to progressively load, put a vest on. Really good exercise I like to use in some sort of rehab process, or for people who just aren't strong enough to do a Nordic hamstring curl, even like can't control themselves eccentrically on a Nordic hamstring curl. So just another option for you guys, but I'm gonna finish up with a couple more sets. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.